Final game in our big three is number 1, Oregon on the road against Michigan. The Ducks are the top team in the country. They're 14.5-point favorites. 2:30 p.m. on CBS. And the question for this game, Trey, to set it up, what does Michigan have to do to actually make this some sort of a trap game for the Ducks? I read a couple of previews on this game in preparation, and literally all of them were like, yeah, take the Ducks. There's really not a case for Michigan here. Is it that simple?
I think on paper, yes, but I'm going to take Michigan plus 14.5. And I'm going to totally preface this by saying that it's a vibes pick. I feel like we're due for something seismic in college football. Why not have it be in Ann Arbor, right? And also, I mean, Michigan looked a little bit more coherent offensively. It wasn't great. They weren't running the ball all over the field or chucking it down the field or anything like that. It just looked a little bit more coherent against Michigan State last week. So that's a positive in their favor. I think the path to a cover here for Michigan involves turning Dillon Gabriel over. This is still a really talented defense. This is still a defense that has gotten no help whatsoever from their offense this year and still looked decent more often than not. Not the elite unit that we saw the last couple of years when they were making runs to the playoffs, but solidly above average to borderline really good for this Michigan defense. It's the best combination of defense and road environment that Oregon has seen so far. I think that's fair to say. I don't know if it's the best defense. It's certainly the best road environment. That could be tricky, and Dillon Gabriel has shown a propensity to throw some really weird interceptions at times. And it hasn't hurt him against lower level competition, but against a team like Michigan, if you give them short fields, that's how they're going to stay into this game. So I think, I'm not saying the moment's going to be too big for Oregon, but this is a really interesting combination here of solid defense, big, rowdy crowd. Give me Michigan to cover at home, look just good enough to give Michigan fans hope that they can do something crazy, and then have their offense do something stupid at the end to rip their hearts out.
All right, so we won't pitch the immaculate inning here on Pitts. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Oregon minus the points.
I think that's the wiser pick.
I think if this game is played, say week 3 or week 4, whenever USC played Michigan, and Michigan's pass rush disrupted what USC wanted to do, throwing the ball down the field, right? I mean, Miller Moss looked frazzled, running for his life, threw a couple of bad interceptions in that game. I think that's the key to success for Michigan, and their pass rush has done fine this year. I think they can absolutely pressure Oregon, but the holes in the issues with the Ducks offensive line, I think they've fixed those for the large majority of these last couple of weeks. They shuffled a couple of pieces around after their slow starts offensively at home, and since then the offensive line has done much better. What you've also seen is Oregon work that ball deeper down the field. It feels like Dillon Gabriel has gained confidence. He's working on the chemistry with the wide receivers. And now Oregon has gone to that more vertical passing attack, I think, that we expected coming in. Gabriel's gone from preseason favorite to win the Heisman to basically off the board to back up towards, 1 to 3, depending on which odds you're looking at. And this isn't the same Michigan secondary that we're used to. They're 85th in the country in pass defense right now. Oregon's got the 10th ranked passing attack. And again, that really hasn't started clicking until these last few weeks. I think if Gabriel had been putting up those numbers all season long, this might be a top 5 passing unit, if not the top unit in the country. The other thing that really worries me is that Michigan does turn the football over themselves. Their defense is forced some, but the offense gives it right back even faster than they can force those turnovers. Oregon's +3 in the turnover margin. Michigan is -6. So even though the Wolverines have the 15th best rushing defense, pass defense issues combined with the fact that that offense is good for a couple of turnovers as well, I just lean the Ducks. I feel like the Ducks have gotten better each week, that they are really ascending to the throne that is up for taking this season. I mean, since Georgia lost to Alabama, it really hasn't felt like anybody has firmly grasped that crown at the end of all of this. I think Oregon might be the team that's closest to doing that. So if the seat is empty, maybe the Ducks, stomp on Michigan this week. I'll take a minus the 14.5.
Gracious him. How about that?